Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to Season 3 of Luminous Clan in ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generator game. When we left off in the previous episode, we were observing some potential mentors for our 3 kittens who are going to be aging up into apprentices in this episode. So our leader went out on a patrol with a select few cats. He went out with 5 cats who he had his eye on as really good potential mentors. Now, I don't know if he found the mentors he wanted in that batch or if he has changed his mind, but no one really stood out. So we're gonna have to see who Godzilla Star decides to assign to our apprentices and whether or not he is going to maybe take an apprentice of his own as part of his long-term strategy to win even more loyalists. It would be almost perfect if he took Blisskit as his apprentice because Blisskit is already a loyalist and his first and only loyalist, so something to think about. But let us go to the leader's den because we need to see how he's going to handle the next gathering, so let me roll the dice and see what we get. Okay, I got a 2 on the 10-sided dice, so that is that's Lie Clan, 1 and 2. Right, Lie Clan, and I have a 2 on the 8-sided dice, which means he is going to, for the first time, offend a clan. So he's gonna offend Lie Clan. Okay, let us go ahead, guys, and skip a moon. Okay, we have some birth and death notices. Godzilla Star spends his gathering speech making small barbs at Lie Clan's leader, not enough to warrant confrontation, just enough that Lie Clan's leader feels the prick. Lie Clan relations have worsened. Okay, well that's not good. Plum Raven was seen arguing and borderline fighting with Alona. The clan has encountered Canary Snap. That is actually one of the lightless cats that I think we have come across in Season 2. And finally, Shadow Swirl announced that she is expecting kits. She dares any cat to force her into that stuffy old nursery, and to her delight, no cat tries to. Maybe next moon, but not now. Excellent, this is exactly what we wanted. So Shadow Swirl is finally expecting kittens, thank goodness. And just out of curiosity, if I go to allegiances, Godzilla Star is a pale tabby tom, and Shadow Swirl is a long-furred dark brown tabby she-cat, and I have checked their coats. I think both of them have the classic tabby pelt, so I'm curious whether their kittens are going to be all tabbies or we're going to have some variation, but I'm excited. Okay, resuming. Godzilla Star's running nose is gone, and he has gotten running nose yet again. Okay. Blisspaw silently swears to Star Clan to do her best for the clan as she touches noses with Daybrands, her cousin. Okay, this is so cool. This is actually the first instance where we have a cousin mentoring their cousin. So this is really cool. A cat mentoring their cousin or taking their younger cousin on as an apprentice, but that is so cool. So Daybrands was not one of the cats who was taken on a patrol with Godzilla Star in the previous episode, but he was on a patrol with Plum Raven, the deputy. So I wonder if Plum Raven gave some feedback about the cats she went on patrol with to the leader, and apparently Godzilla Star decided that his one and only loyalist deserved to be under Daybrands. Now I'm very curious to see Blisspaw's personality and how she and Daybrands might work well together, because Daybrands is a bloodthirsty cat and a concerning cat to give someone that, you know, he might be able to influence. Like, if you have kittens you want on your side, I don't know if you'd give them to Daybrands, because Daybrands could potentially turn them into bloodthirsty little cats as well. And this was something we were worried about in the last episode, that I don't know if Godzilla Star would be willing to have Daybrands, someone who he's not sure about, because he doesn't know if Daybrands is on his side or against him. I mean, he is an anti-loyalist, so he's not exactly on his side. But that might be a dangerous cat as a mentor, because he could influence the younger cats against the leader. However, with that in mind, I can see why out of all the kittens he might have assigned Blisspaw to Daybrands, because Blisspaw is already a loyalist. So maybe he has less to worry about if Blisspaw becomes Dayprance's apprentice, because maybe Blisspaw can help, you know, turn Dayprance to the leader's side. Maybe that's what Godzilla Star's hoping. So I'm very curious about this because Blisspaw was a sweet little kitten, and she's been paired with a bloodthirsty mentor. Sunkit runs up to the front of the crowd, eager to get his new name. When he's called Sunpaw for the first time, Cloudfur and Pepper's voices can be heard the loudest as the clan welcomes the new apprentice. So I have no clue who Sunpaw's mentor is. We'll have to find out. And finally, even though she's excited to finally be made an apprentice, it takes a bit of coaxing by Pepper and for Goldkit to step forward for a ceremony. Pepper watches in pride as she's named Goldpaw and touches noses with Stonespeck. Okay, I think Stonespeck was one of the cats that were taken out with the leader in the patrol, and I guess she must have stood out a little bit. And here's the other interesting thing, is that Stonespeck mentored her son, Dayprance. So once more, we have this really cool thing going on where a mentor and their previous apprentice are both mentoring colleagues, and they're mentoring a batch of kittens together. So Dayprance, you know, he was trained by his mother, he has now grown up into an adult, and now his mother is taking on another apprentice, and so is Dayprance at the same time. That is really cool. That is really cool. But now I'm very curious to see who Sunkit's mentor is. But okay, let's dive into the cat list because we need to take a look at these kittens, how they look as apprentices. I'm just too excited. And look at that! These cutie pies! So Blisspaw looks a lot like Stonespeck, no? Blisspaw is supposed to be a tortie, but she doesn't look like a tortie to me. She looks so much like her aunt Stonespeck, who is speckled. But that's curious. That is very curious. Yeah, she's got a speckled pelt, and that's what Blisspaw looks like to me. But Blisspaw is a tortie, apparently. She has a tortie pelt. But anyways, she's loyal, so she was sweet. She is now loyal, an avid play fighter, and mentors Dayprance. I'm telling you guys, this is why the leader has assigned Blisspaw to Dayprance, because Blisspaw is a loyalist, she is loyal, and I think the leader is thinking that if anything, then maybe Blisspaw is going to be able to kind of, with her, you know, soothing personality, be able to tame in a way her mentor and help guide her mentor, because in a lot of ways this whole thing can be a learning process for both the mentor and the apprentice. So I think he's hoping that Blisspaw is going to be able to form a bond with the bloodthirsty Dayprance and help kind of pull him over to the leader's side. And then we have Sunpaw, our mysterious Sunpaw. Like, who is your mentor, my child? Orchid Shine. Okay, that's very interesting. So Sunpaw, who was an attention seeker in his youth, is now childish with an active imagination, and he has been mentored to Orchid Shine, who is strict and a talented swimmer. So I can see how that would work. Orchid Shine has absolutely no experience when it comes to apprentices and such, but I can see how the leader would feel as though maybe Sunpaw needs a sterner hand and more guidance than his sisters. So someone like Orchid Shine would be very good for him, but also the fact that she has this very terrifying scar on her face from... What did she get this from? From being trapped on patrol, that maybe it's going to be a good reminder for Sunpaw that if you are too childish or if you don't take things seriously at the right time, you can end up with some very grievous injuries. And then finally we have Goldpaw. Goldpaw, my favorite out of her siblings, who has been mentored to Stonespeck, or apprenticed, I should say. Stonespeck is also childish like her brother, but she's quick-witted, whereas he has like an active imagination. So a childish apprentice with an ambitious, mentor, who is a great teacher with natural inclination. Now, she was not able to curb the bloodthirstiness in her son and former apprentice Dayprance. However, I'm wondering whether the leader feels as though Stonespeck, this ambitiousness might be a good way for her to motivate, like she might be able to motivate her childish apprentice Goldpaw into doing something greater. So I'm very curious to see how those cats are going to go. So far, it seems as though... I actually don't know who has the advantage here. I have no clue. Why don't we take a look at the mentors and like who's got more experience? So Stone Speck is the most experienced mentor, and it makes sense because she has mentored, you know, one other apprentice before this batch. So Goldpaw from that perspective has an advantage over the others. And then Orchid Shine has the next most experience, which does make sense. She is a bit older than Day Prince, so she, even though both of them have never had an apprentice, she just has had more experiences, and she's dealt with like more terrifying things, which is, you know, one of the reasons how she got that scar on her face. But Sunpaw has the next advantage. So it seems as though Day Prince is the least experienced mentor, and so Blisspaw is kind of at a most disadvantage. Well, she's the least advantaged, I should say. Maybe disadvantaged, I guess, in that sense. And her sister has kind of the best thing going on. But we'll have to see who becomes the best of their batch, because whoever graduates, like on the last moon that they have, the 11th moon, depending on their rankings on the 11th moon, whoever gets the highest ranking out of the youngsters, they are the ones who are going to be given the title of prince or princess. But actually, we can't say that Blisspaw is disadvantaged, because her mentor, Day Prince, has the title of Day Prince. He was the first ever prince that we had in the clan. However, we should also note that Day Prince was an only child, so he had no competition. He was the only apprentice in his batch. So, you know, was that title earned? I don't know, but like, I'm happy regardless, because he's the one who started this whole prince and princess thing. So that's what we have going on. Very, very intriguing. Very intriguing. But let us check out the medicine cat den. Let's see. Rowan Pelt was given cobwebs as treatment for bite wound. The risks are lowered. Godzilla Star was given juniper as treatment for running nose, and then his running nose went and came back. Buttercup Dusk gathered cat mint this moon. Okay, excellent. So let us check out... Oh wait, is anyone sitting out? Rowan Pelt is not going to be participating in the patrols. Okay, noted. But let us go ahead and check out relationships and see what's been going on. Rowan Pelt gives Plumraven something that she dropped. Plumraven and Bonesong realize they have more in common than previously thought. Buttercup Dusk had a good dream about Cloudfur. Buttercup Dusk and Sunkit learn a skill from each other that they've been envious about. Buttercup Dusk does something that makes Stone Speck stay a little happier. Stone Speck, Godzilla Star, and Magpie Heart had a nice talk while eating. Okay, that was a neutral effect. But Godzilla Star has been talking with Magpie Heart, who he's been getting along well with. And then he's kind of pulled in Stone Speck as well. Stone Speck and Sunkit laugh about something small together. Now, Stone Speck, I'm gonna have to remember these like mentors and stuff, but Sunkit is mentored to Orchid Shine. Stone Speck is mentored to Goldpaw. Yeah, Sunpaw, sorry. Sunpaw with Orchid Shine, Stone Speck with the youngest one, Goldpaw, and Day Prince, the oldest one, Blisspaw. Okay. After something happens, Rowan Pelt and Magpie Heart find comfort in one another's company. Rowan Pelt and Gold Kit are assigned the same task, so obviously all these interactions are happening before the apprentice ceremony. Cloudfur and Day Prince notice a cloud is shaped like a bird. Sunkit brings Cloudfur herbs from the medicine den for a headache. It seems like there's an unspoken apology between Shadow Swirl and Lupine Claw. Oh, now what is this about? I'm wondering whether Lupine Claw is apologizing to Shadow Swirl for killing Shadow Swirl's oldest sister, Barrowshine. But obviously, I don't think Lupine Claw is the type who would confess to a murder, but maybe she's feeling a little bit sorry for Shadow Swirl, or maybe she's feeling a little bit guilty that Shadow Swirl, she's got this happy news where she's pregnant, but her sister is unable to be there. Not because of anything else, but because she killed her. Yeah, I mean, she killed Barrowshine in a fit of jealousy. What is Lupine Claw's personality? She's charismatic. So I don't know if she's a complete psycho, or if she does feel guilty because she did something in a fit of jealousy. But I'm wondering if that was... Oh, it says unspoken apology, though. Unspoken apology. So I wonder if Shadow Swirl is spending time with Lupine Claw now that she's pregnant. Maybe she's talking about, you know, people from their past who are not here today, and she mentioned Burrowshine, and Lupine Claw, deep inside, kind of was a bit apologetic towards Shadow Swirl that Burrowshine wasn't here. Okay, Shadow Swirl warns Blizzkid about something on the ground so Blizzkid doesn't trip. Lupine Claw is talking about what to do tomorrow at Stone Speck. Sunkit gently woke up Lupine Claw this morning. Godzilla Star compliments Orchidshine on something she was self-conscious about. Okay, so he is spending time with, it seems, the cats that he ended up choosing as mentors because he was hanging out with Stone Speck and with Magpie Heart, but mainly Stone Speck. And then now he's complimenting Orchidshine, and those were both cats that he ended up choosing as some of the mentors. Orchidshine sees a glimmer of determination in Gold Kit's eyes. Magpie Heart trusts Gold Kit with a very important task. Magpie Heart nods politely as Sun Kit passes by. Bonesong knows that the advice Magpie Heart gave him will be helpful. Bonesong wishes Blizzkid would act more maturely. Bonesong heard Pepper express an ideal he cannot agree with. Gold Kit helps Pepper hide from a clanmate. Pepper nods politely as Bonesong passes by. Dave Prance watches Gold Kit wind up for a sneeze, but it never happens. Sun Kit's words of comfort mean more to Godzilla Star than he knows. Okay, so Sun Kit over here was spending some time with Godzilla Star. Something to keep an eye on. And then Godzilla Star got a bunch of cats up for morning stretches. They didn't like it. When getting something to eat, Godzilla Star sees Day Prance allows someone else to take his favorite prey. Guys, I'm telling you, Godzilla Star has had interactions with every one of the cats that he ended up picking as mentors. Like, literally, Stone Speck, Orchidshine, Day Prance, and he picked them as mentors. Blizzpaw apologizes to Stone Speck. So they have, after this point, had the apprentice ceremonies. It totally makes sense. And then, you know, we have the pause now. So Blizzpaw apologizes to Stone Speck, but Stone Speck doesn't know why. Sunpaw learns some pelt grooming techniques from Godzilla Star and tells Godzilla Star some of his own. Okay, Godzilla Star has, like, conquered Blizzkit, or Blizzpaw, and now he's moving on to Blizzpaw's younger brother Sunpaw. I see. Goldpaw can think of 100 good things to say about Pepper, who is her father, so that is actually very heartwarming. But okay, that is all we have for the events. So let me cut the recording here and we'll resume in the cat list. It is time for us to resume with the cat list. Now, nothing seems to have changed with our loyalties. Blizzpaw is still the one and only loyalist of Godzilla Star. I suppose that Godzilla Star still has a lot of work to do. A lot of these cats, I mean the clan-born cats, they are so kind of tightly linked to one another. It is kind of hard for Godzilla Star to come in here and break them apart. I mean, he's better off making an impression really on the kittens and the younger cats because they haven't been around like nearly as long as the others, and so the relationships they have aren't as deep and, you know, as long. So we'll have to see. He's gonna have to like keep trying slowly. But now Godzilla Star has the security guise of not being kicked out. He's not going to be kicked out now because his mate Shadow Swirl is now expectant and they're going to have a litter soon, so he is going to contribute to the genetics of the clan, and therefore he's going to be solidified as a clan member now. So something that he is, I'm sure, very relieved about. However, it does mean that Pepper, the mediator, is no longer going to be, well, mediating between the two of them, because that's the only reason we mediate is for the kittens. But it's kind of sad because if you look at their relationship, Godzilla Star and Shadow Swirl are clearly not in love with one another. I don't know how much longer they will last beyond this agreement that they have. I mean, even if Shadow Swirl at this point breaks up, it's not going to harm Godzilla Star. But I think both of them, there is no love between them. They were just in this relationship for the sake of the clan and to get something out of it. And now that they have, I don't know if they will try with one another. I don't think Godzilla Star necessarily is, blown away or in love with Shadowswell, and the other way around. I don't think Shadowswell is as, swept off her feet by Godzilla Star as she sees her sister is by Pepper. It's very different. Very, very different. But Shadowswell is responsible, so I feel like this is her being responsible towards the clan. Okay, let's go ahead and see what everyone is doing for the day. Godzilla Star wonders how his old kitty pet friends are doing, because he formerly is a kitty pet, so he was one of the cats who came from outside the mountain and wandered inside. Although I think he did meet us, and we did help guide him to the other lightless cats. Plum Raven is hoping for a break. Buttercup Dusk almost got lost near some two-leg nests. Pepper had a nice chat with a cat from another clan at the border. Stone Speck is feeling sassy today. Cloudfur tries to set a good example for younger cats. Okay, so last time I think I was curious about who Cloudfur trained, and she trained Bonesong. Shadowswell is waiting for Stone Speck to return to camp. Okay. Rowan Pelt is thinking about how awful kitty pet food must taste. Magpie Heart wants to critique Cloudfur's fighting techniques. Okay. Lupine Claw wonders how Orchid Shine is doing. Bonesong wants to compliment Orchid Shine's fighting techniques. Very nice. So Bonesong wants to compliment Orchid Shine's fighting techniques, and his brother wants to critique Cloudfur's fighting techniques. Very fascinating. Okay, let's see. Orchid Shine is conducting a rather rigorous training session for the younger warriors. That's adorable. And so I imagine she is doing this for Apprentice Sunpaw. I mean, his training has already started. She's onto it, so she might actually manage to haul him through as a prince by the end of this whole thing. Day Prince, meanwhile, is watching the sky for hawks. It's like he's keeping his bloodthirsty inside to not scare his very loyal apprentice. But, it's there. It's brewing under the surface, and it might come out during the patrols. Blisspaw cleans the clearing of fallen leaves. Sunpaw found a wonderful napping spot outside camp. My boy. I feel like he's been put through all this training stuff, like a rigorous training exercise by his mentor, and all he can think about, the only thing getting him through this, is that napping spot that he found outside of camp where he is going to crash after the training is done so that his mentor cannot find him anywhere. Goldpaw, meanwhile, is looking up, watching the clouds roll by. Look at her. What a little bit of a dreamer. But the fact that she is childish and quick-witted, I feel like with Sunpaw, with his active imagination, I can imagine him daydreaming or getting distracted and wandering off in his own thoughts and kind of losing track of what his mentor's saying, and then she probably has to whoop him in the backside for him to finally bring his focus back to the present. Whereas with his sister Goldpaw, she's childish as well, but because she's quick-witted, I can imagine her not paying attention, but as soon as a mentor kind of calls for her, she's immediately able to work out what's happening and cover her bases so that it looks like, yes, she was paying attention. She's the type of childish that gets away with it because she's very fast on the uptake. So, okay. Very, very interesting. That is what the cats are doing right now. I'm going to cut the recording here, and we're going to continue with patrols. Oh my goodness, we have so many cats to take out. So many cats! We currently have 136.9 prey, and we need 42.5. So the amount of prey we need has actually gone up. Makes sense. Our apprentices are getting bigger, and we also have a pregnant cat. But let's send out our medicine cat first of all. Buttercup Dusk, go forth and find us some things. Buttercup Dusk is always amused by the plantain's enduring cheerfulness in the face of being trodden on, and it's nice that the plants grow with such enthusiasm right to the end of leaffall. So proceed, suitable for soothing throat and pelt irritation, and with a welcome, albeit weird, habit of consistently sprouting up on well-trodden paths, plantain is a basic but valuable herb to keep stocks of. Buttercup Dusk finds today's harvest growing overshadowed by a big mullein plant and takes that too. So mullein and plantain were gathered. And now we have our all-important patrols. This is going to be the first set of patrols that our apprentices and the mentors go on. So I'm very curious to see everyone's training techniques and methods. But we're going to have a patrol of 6. Actually, we're gonna have 2 patrols of 6 and 1 patrol of 1. Okay. I'm very nervous for whichever cat's gonna end up going on their own. Hopefully it's not one of the apprentices. Okay, let's see. Who's gonna go out in the first patrol of 6? Okay. So, it seems as though Orchid is keeping her apprentice close. So, they're gonna go out together. She wants to supervise her apprentice, you know, in person. But it seems as though Stone Speck and Dayprince are taking a different technique. They have decided that their apprentices are not going to be accompanying them. They would rather their apprentices get some experience from some of the other cats, and maybe they'll have like a debrief when they all return from patrols. And then we have over here Magpie Heart and Cloudfur. So hopefully one of the apprentices doesn't end up on their own, but I don't know what the mentors have arranged for them, so we'll have to see. But let's send these guys out and see what happens. The patrol finds a nice spot to sun themselves. Proceed, the sunlight feels great, and the cats have a successful training session, swapping tips and advice as they stretch out and bask. Okay, so this was probably the best kind of training session for Sunpaw, because he honestly, in camp, just wanted to go out and nap. And that's what the cats kind of ended up doing. They had like a bit of a nap, and then they were just stretching, lying around, talking about training instead of actually doing training. So I think he probably enjoyed this like a ton. And he was lucky in the sense that not only did he get his mentor, but he had the other 2 mentors here as well to give some advice. So good on them. And Cloudfur was the patrol leader over here. So our next set of 6. Okay, so it seems as though the other 2, the sisters we have, Blisspaw and Goldpaw, they have been sent on a patrol with Lupine Claw, Bonesong, Godzilla Star, and Shadow Swirl. So between these 4 cats, hopefully they're going to get a good experience. And then Plum Raven, the deputy, has volunteered to go on her own for the single patrol, which is very, very responsible of her. So okay, let's send these guys out. Oh no. Bonesong is trailing behind the patrol when there is a mighty cloud of stones from below him. He looks around wildly, just in time for the world to tip upside down as the scree slope beneath him collapses. Okay. This is going to be terrifying for the youngsters, but Bonesong is the one in trouble, so let's see if he manages to get out of this. The patrol eventually manages to rescue Bonesong, but he needs to be helped back to camp, battered and injured. Bonesong got a broken jaw. Oh my goodness. I wonder if he's gonna have a scar on his face, just like Orchidshine does, because this is exactly what his sister Orchidshine went through. She, got buried, or she kind of fell and got injured in one of these patrols, and she came back with a broken jaw, which eventually healed, thank goodness, but it left her a terrible scar, and I wonder if the same thing's gonna happen to Bonesong now. Oh my goodness, I think that would have terrified the youngsters. Plum Raven is now gonna go out on her own. The patrol comes across a thunder path running through the mountains. We have had really good luck with the thunder paths. I think the worst thing, and actually the only thing that's happened in a thunder path, is that Rowan Pelt, when he was an apprentice, got hit, and then he had a broken back for a long, long time. He almost died, but he made it through, and now he is healthy as ever. And we have had cats in the past, several times actually. I don't know if you guys remember Bubbling Gale. He used to go across the thunder paths like quite a lot to get food, and never had an accident even once. Now Plum Raven, I don't know, I don't think I've sent her alone across the thunder path ever before, but hopefully she's okay. I mean, her skills are running and swimming. So let's go. The patrol waits until they can hear the wind whistling, not a murmur of a monster, and crosses the thunder path to hunt on the other side. A medium amount of prey is brought to camp. Excellent. We sorely needed that because we are consuming more and more food. So we currently have 144.1, which is wonderful. And how much did our little kittens learn? I'm curious. Blisspaw has 1 experience, Sunpaw has 2, and Goldpaw has 1. Okay, so Sunpaw is kind of leading right now in terms of experience, and he's the one that has Orchidshine. So that kind of worked out well for him, but we'll really start seeing rankings and how everyone's going from the next episode, from the next moon. That's when we'll get a clearer idea of which of the kittens are kind of climbing to the top and which ones are falling to the bottom. But okay guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.